We're good? All right. The Smithville Board of Alderman work session is now called to order. We only have one agenda item tonight, and that is the discussion of fireworks. Cynthia, how do you want to kick this off?
Anna has prepared the report and has information that she can provide and respond to any questions as the board will recall. This is a result of some discussion earlier this year and questions with regard to our ordinance. Anna has reached out to other communities to determine what their ordinances provide for, and that information is included in the packet so she can answer any questions the board may have, and we look for direction from the board as to any changes that they may desire.
Thank you, Cynthia. Like she said, we were asked to reach out to several communities in the area. I reached out to 18 outside of Smithville. Currently, Smithville's ordinance currently states that we have restrictions on bottle rockets and nothing else. We reached out to several of the municipalities. Of those municipalities that responded, 4 do not allow any fireworks. 4, including Smithville, restrict bottle rockets only. 7 restrict bottle rockets plus any other type of fireworks. And 4 have no restrictions whatsoever on fireworks. Restrictions. So when I reached out to officials, they were usually within the police department. I talked to them about enforcement. I talked to them about feasibility. Several of the conversations that I had included officials saying that they have X, Y, and Z in place, but because of staffing or because there are other emergent police matters happening, they're not really able to get out to the scene wherever a firework is called in. And citation in general is really difficult as well. So when they are called in to take a look at fireworks, that someone's shooting them off or shooting off a certain type of firework, they're not able to issue any citations because they would have to physically see someone light that firework off. So at that point, it's just a warning, and that creates frustration on several different levels. The person with the fireworks, the neighbors who called it in, as well as the police officer who has to go out and have to tell people that they can only issue a warning. Over the past several years, you all have issued more restrictions such as time and length, the few days around July 4th, the bottle rockets that we've talked about. And then I also have some information on how many complaints have actually been called in for the past several years. So this year, officers responded to 19 firework complaints. This is during the months of June and July. 2020 was 18, 2019 was 21, and 2018 was 31 complaints. So through all of that, through several discussions, I was able to get a lot of input from area officers and chiefs, and able to put together this list of the ordinance code, time and dates allowed, the restrictions that are placed, and the definition. I also have notes on the conversations that I had as well. So what staff is looking for is a discussion from you all, as well as seeking direction on how you would like for us to proceed. If we would like to increase restrictions, keep them the same, or do nothing at all.
I have a question.
Yep.
Does anybody know why we restricted bottle rockets?
I believe Chief can answer that one. Jason. Chief, there we go. There we go. Chief? He's unmuted now.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
While we're waiting for Chief, does anybody else have?
There we go.
We,
No, we can't hear you. Oh, plus he's frozen. There we go.
Well, now he's gone. Marv, go ahead.
What brought the conversation up for more restrictions?
Meeting, what's this? What is it right after? What is it in July that I was out, Steve, that you had the meeting?
Yes, I brought it up, Mark, at one of our meetings. I asked for a new business. And the reason was because a lot of people in my neighborhood questioned it, wanted to know why we shoot almost professional grade fireworks in a neighborhood like this, and wanted me to check into that. Truthfully, a lot of the fireworks that are shot in the neighborhood are almost professional fireworks. Mm-hmm. And I guess my question is, why did we restrict bottle rockets? I don't understand what the difference between a bottle rocket is and these almost professional fireworks that's being shot over people's houses in a neighborhood like this. And so I guess that's my first question, is why did we restrict bottle rockets? Seems like there isn't any difference between a bottle rocket to me and something more professional being shot in the neighborhood.
Chief, you back now?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I wish I knew what happened. I can't tell you why bottle rockets were originally restricted. I can tell you since I started here in late 96, early 97, that's always been the case. I suspect it's related to, there was kind of a push in the late 80s and through the 90s to ban them with concerns over wood shake shingles on houses.
That's what I remember from Kansas City, was in the 80s and 90s. There's a lot of, especially Johnson County, where you had requirements for wood shake shingles. That's really when I remember it, because we used to shoot bottle rockets when we were kids in Kansas City.
So it's a safety reason, basically. It's unsafe to shoot bottle rockets in a neighborhood because they could cause a fire. I guess my question is, I don't understand the difference between that and what they're shooting today, which is basically almost professional fireworks being shot. And that's what people come to me asking about. They don't understand why would we allow that in a neighborhood where houses are 20 feet apart from each other. One of our ordinance says you're supposed to shoot them in your own yard. And I always thought the reason they banned bottle rockets is because it's impossible to do that. You can't shoot a bottle rocket and say you're shooting it in your own yard. You can shoot it in your own yard, but it's not going to come down in your own yard. And obviously everything else we shoot in the air is the same way. So, yeah, the ones that we polled, 12 of them basically of the, I think there's 19 you said, or 18, they either ban bottle rockets or aerial, or they don't if there's acreage. If you got 3 acres, that makes sense, because you can shoot, if you have 3 acres, you can shoot something up and it comes down in your own yard. But 12 of those cities that you polled said no aerial fireworks, no sky lanterns, no rockets. They don't allow it because it's dangerous. And if you look on the Kansas side, which wasn't included in this, I looked at 11 different cities, and of those, 9 of them don't allow them either. DeSoto, Leavenworth, Lawrence, Lenexa, Marion, Mission Hills, Olathe, Overland Park, Prairie Village, Shawnee, none of those allow aerial fireworks.
So question, because one of the cities you mentioned is DeSoto, where Cynthia lives. Does it stop anybody from shooting them?
No, it doesn't.
I'm not sure that's the issue here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, if you don't have a policeman watching a car speeding down the highway, you can't enforce that either. If somebody's not wearing their seatbelt, you can't enforce that either unless somebody's there to see it. The idea is, if you tell somebody that they're breaking the law, somebody, believe it or not, some people wouldn't do it again. If somebody tells me I'm breaking the law, I'm not going to do it again. So I'm not saying you're going to eliminate it, but if it was outlawed to shoot aerial fireworks, some people won't do it. Sure, there's going to be some that's going to break the law, but some of them will say, okay, I didn't know that was against the law. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I don't think that's a good argument to say it's unenforceable. I mean, anything's unenforceable if there isn't a policeman there.
So Steve, is your recommendation to change the bottle rocket language to aerials?
Aerial fireworks, that's all. When I talk to people in the neighborhood, a lot of them like to see them banned completely. I told them that probably isn't going to happen in Smithville. But then when they talk about aerial fireworks, and they go, what about this stuff that's over my house and landed in my gutters and all this stuff that's coming down on my house? A lot of them thought that would help a lot if we could just stop that. And obviously, if you look at Missouri and Kansas put together, 23 of the cities have done that. Only 9 haven't. We're one of the 9 that haven't. They put it in the law that you can't do it. Now, again, it's not going to stop it. But believe it or not, sometimes when people are told they're breaking the law, they do stop it. So it's kind of chipping away at a problem, I think, that is there. But, you know, that's what the people I've talked to said that would help if we could get rid of that. And of course, every year it's the same thing. The same, you know, people complain every year, and you know, it almost seems like it's getting worse. You know, because the stuff they're shooting in my neighborhood is almost professional. It's not. I mean, these are big fireworks going off all over the neighborhood, and you know. And then the other thing, it's safety issues. I mean, it's you know, it's. I think, you know, you go around the neighborhood at 4th of July. Now, I'm not saying everywhere, but it isn't even a majority of the people shooting these things. It's a minority of the people. Most people aren't even shooting anything, let alone professional fireworks in the neighborhood. You know, you got debris, pollution, noise. You know, we got veterans of, you know, PTSD. You know, we've got animals. This 4th of July is one of the worst times of the year for animals, dogs, to run off because they get scared. I mean,
yeah, I think you had brought us some info too a couple of years ago, that because I think we all received a letter at that time from some veterans that brought up those same concerns. And you're right, not every neighborhood's probably the same, and I lived in your neighborhood, so I do agree with you. We left town because it was pretty extensive fireworks in the area. And a lot of the, you know, some of them are in the county, but some of them are in the neighborhood, and shooting in the streets is illegal, correct, Chief? This is on property.
Yeah, yes, you're correct. The way the ordinance is written, you're only supposed to discharge them from your property or property where you have permission from the owner.
Yeah, and I know we kind of set the street sweeper schedule after 4th of July too, and pick up quite a bit, right? So I don't disagree with you, Steve. I think that
all I can say is we're in the minority. We are in the minority. You know, of the cities that you all looked at and the ones I've looked at, 23 of them have banned that. 9 of them haven't, and we're part of the 9. So, I mean, we can kick this down the road, but Smithville's growing. You know, at some point, we're probably going to do this, but, you know, it just depends when we're going to decide to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Anyone else have any comments?
Well, I mean, I live in Hills of Shannon, and we really enjoy our fireworks in our neighborhood. So we do a very good job of cleaning up our debris and mess. So Hills of Shannon is going to be a hard neighborhood to get to vote that down or to pass it.
So am mine. Mine's the same way. I mean, except they don't clean it up as well. But
oh, see, we clean ours up. I mean, our neighborhood is very respectful of that. Most of the streets are. And we've never seen anybody's house catch on fire. No complaints about gutters, like debris and gutter. I mean, if so, they've never, and trust me, they would voice their opinion if it was an issue, but we've never gotten any complaints. So, except for dog issues, you know, bothering dogs, but it's one day.
Mayor, I don't know if we've gotten any feedback from Chief Klein on the responses during that time, and I'm sure they're there as well if somebody gets injured. I guess I'd be interested to see kind of what the trend has been with Chief Klein and the calls of the fire department. And I know that's kind of outside of our realm of governing body, but
it's something we can ask during the liaison meeting for sure. I mean, we can find out. It's not hard. He's pretty available. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to know along the same lines. I was going to ask the same question that Alderman Hartman just asked, but with the ambulance district also. During the 1st through the 5th or 6th, medical issues directly regarding fireworks and fire call outs directly regarding not only injuries but property damage in regards to fireworks.
And again, I'm not asking that we outlaw fireworks. That's not the point here. not even thinking about that. I'm just saying that we've got fireworks that are being shot all over the neighborhood and over people's houses that don't want fireworks over their house. That's the only thing I'm talking about here.
And is it Liberty that Liberty has a 3-acre restriction, right?
Yes.
From the document, yeah. And I mean, it is, I can't remember the dates that they've changed this, but I do remember the bottle rocket thing because I did live in Kansas City then. And
bottle rockets were typically outlawed due to, as you said, roof fires, because bottle rockets were put together in such a cheap manner. They didn't always go very far up, and then they would they'd always land on a roof and or in a gutter and create fire. That's why bottle rockets were really outlawed.
And they kept burning when they hit too, right? Like I remember.
Yeah, they'd usually have a pretty good ember on them. Typically the aerial stuff, it's designed to go up high enough where when it lands at a house level or even a tree level that it's supposed to have gone out. That's not always the case, but
yeah, I remember seeing some flaming parachutes every once in a while when I was.
A lot of flaming parachutes, and those are put together pretty cheap too.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff that goes 75 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air, it probably has enough time to burn out on the way down. But the lantern thing, though, is kind of interesting, because I think we've had White Iron Ridge message us about that at one point, I think. Because you don't know where those are going to land. They could land anywhere in the county.
Those things are on fire too. They are. I've got a few of them, and I've had a few go, and I've had a few not make it through the tree and sit there and burn, and you just sit there and watch it and make sure if it does decide to come down, it's going to stay on my property.
Alderman Chevalier, I can't really look at your background, but any comments?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I just think even if we try to do a ban, I mean, it's going to be so tough to enforce. The biggest thing that I see, the biggest challenge is just getting folks to not let them off in the middle of the street. Because I mean, that's kind of, you have to see cars sitting there like waiting for the firework to be done. I've never seen this, but I mean, if there's an ambulance or some sort of emergency vehicle needs to get past, and they can't because people are shooting off this huge display. I think that's the only issue that I could see that would concern me the most. But yeah, I just don't think banning is going to work in this community.
Yeah, I know prior to living in Smithville, the neighborhood I lived in, they blew up a lot of half stick of dynamites and things. And one of them one year went through my car windows, but the mirrors, but the pieces of the street, and we had a nice little pothole in front of our house for a little while. I haven't seen that level of stuff going on here, but I know the heat probably doesn't help the streets. I know Alan's on, Chuck's not on, but I'm sure we've had a few little melted spots in our streets.
There's quite a few of those that go off from relatively close to my neighborhood, from at least the 1st to the 5th or so.
Does anybody other than Alderman Sarver want to look at adjusting the language from bottle rockets to aerials, or where are we at? It's the only agenda item, so we don't have anything else to move on to other than the regular.
I personally don't.
Alderman Atkins.
I haven't heard enough evidence of safety issues to justify changing anything.
Okay.
That's why I made the request, and Dan made the request for some more information from emergency services to let us know, to make a better opinion of how much farther we need to go for the betterment of the city, not necessarily our personal opinions.
Can we, Anna, can we get that information for Cynthia's city administrator report? And if we want to take it up past that, we can bring it up in new business again.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Can we get some information on any like other stuff, not just emergency services, but anything like street damage or anything like that that we've noticed? That might be helpful as well.
And I know we're getting ready to do the community survey, and it's probably too late to add to that, but can we do a Facebook poll or some sort of one question email survey out to people and just ask if they have any? We could think about wording, but let's find out what we get from emergency services first. But we're not gonna, we don't have time to get in the ETC survey. So,
Mayor, what I was going to suggest as well is we have that additional information from public safety, hearing some questions and concerns from the board, perhaps more education as we get closer to the 4th of July, as we set out on Did You Know and those sort and our website and other forms of social media, reminding people that it is illegal to set them off in the street, that it is illegal to discharge them from offside your property, and kind of more of an education process to try to minimize some of that.
and one of the other things too, that especially with where Alderman Sarver, where you live, it might be worth bringing up to the HOA too, to have a designated area in the neighborhood. Maybe a common area that is, there's some green space areas, pool area. I don't know if it becomes, I don't know if that's something the HOA would want to do if we can't.
If I had a house next to the pool, I wouldn't want them to do that.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, I know, but finding a spot where people can agree to have a little more space and do something like that.
Well, I mean,
okay. I didn't expect this to change anything. I just needed to go back to the people that came to me and tell them that the board wasn't willing to change it. So it's good enough.
Well, I think we want to get the info from yeah, we want to get the info from some other folks and think about it, I think, a little bit more too. But
hey, and that you bring up a good point, Mayor, is with the HOA, I mean, surely something like that can be regulated within an HOA as well. I mean, they can limit pretty much quite a bit of stuff that you can do on your property. I would assume that this may be something that can be looked at too. So
yeah, and I know changing covenants is really hard, but the common helping us share the information at the very least.
I wouldn't want to be on the HOA that tried to do that.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, Ms. Wagner, you can get that in your next report or the one after. I don't know how much time it'll take, and we can move from there.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, we've got 8 minutes till our next meeting, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn and see you guys back in a few minutes. Alderman Hartman.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our Board of Alderman work session.
I saw Marv had his hand up too, so second. Thank you, sir. All those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. See y'all in a couple minutes.
Do we see this link?
Same one. Yeah, you can just go on mute and turn your video off for now if you want.